Hey everyone, and welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting in another episode of Gotham City Chronicles. And as always for these, I got my man Kavi hanging out with me as we're talking Batman and Robin today by Grant Morrison. Kavi, what's going on, sir?
I just remembered to unmute my mic and
you did in time, I saw. So,
yeah. What's up, dude? How was Thanksgiving for you? Good?
It was good. It was small. It was just me and my folks, and this is the year where my sister goes to the other direction. So I ended up following foot surgery. So it was, it was nice. Yeah. They brought it to me. I didn't have to do much. So it was a good time. What about you?
Yeah, pretty quiet. Quiet family time for the most part. I had my grandma here nice. for a bit. She's heading out on Thursday, and so I won't see her for a while after that. Heading to California to stay with my aunt. But pretty fun time. I got a lot of reading in over the Thanksgiving. So this, of course, for the second time, second time in a matter of weeks, I think. Yeah. What else did I read? I read whatever the last volume of Saga was that came out, 12?
Okay.
13?
I've never read any since the return.
Gotcha. So I think it was 12. Okay. So I think that's the only volume to come out to be published this year, or maybe recently. It was even last year. I don't know. Yeah. So I read that. What else did I read? I read the second volume of the whole Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cicchetto Ultimate Spider-Man, like that the
new one,
old man Parker or whatever it is. I mean, it's not quite old man, but it's like an adult Peter Parker.
Actual adult Peter Parker. Oh, wow. It's
like an adult Peter Parker and Mary Jane. They have 2 kids. The whole origin story's changed up. There's sort of different, it's one of those, whatever, alternate multiverse things. So I'm 2 volumes in out of 3 currently that are in trade on that. There was a few other books. I reread V for Vendetta for the first time in 20 years.
Wow.
And I loved it. I remember loving it back then, 20 some years ago. I loved it rereading it. So yeah.
Nice. So, I worked on this, and then I read some of my other books that I've been working on, and then I read the omnibus I did talked about on this guy's channel back on Saturday, the George Perez Wonder Woman Omnibus Volume 2. We talked about that on Saturday on John's channel. Cool. Yeah, so go check that out.
And the Grant Morrison Batman stuff is fun, and maybe we should have read that before reading this.
For
this show.
So we are tonight discussing Batman and Robin, Batman Reborn Volume 1. This is just issues 1 through 6 of the Batman and Robin series from the Grant Morrison. And I'd heard really good things about this run. So I had picked up the trade a long time ago and had never gotten around to reading it. So I was like, hey, let's read this. And it drops us in. The only other I hadn't really read any of this era. The only other thing I'd read from this era is the pre-New 52 post Batman R.I.P. is the Black Mirror storyline.
Okay. Oh yeah. Didn't we read Black Mirror on this?
We read Black Mirror, which is Scott Snyder, and that's
the key thing to place my brain is Dick Grayson Batman is
Dick Grayson is Batman during that one.
That grounds me into that sort of area, and I have to kind of pull back facts into my brain that differentiate.
But I have never read R.I.P. Batman or The Battle for the Cowl.
I've never read Battle for the Cowl, and I feel like that was probably important. Yeah.
Yes, because I will go to you first, but I felt lost. What were your thoughts?
First time I read it, I felt a little bit strange. Am I missing something here? What? Did I read it wrong? I did feel definitely a little bit lost at first, I guess. Then I sort of reoriented oriented myself and sort of recalled, especially Black Mirror, that because we did a whole discussion around it. But as far as Grant Morrison's Batman, like proper Batman run, I've only read like random issues here and there, like the first appearance of Damian Wayne, Beyond the Son of the Demon, whatever, 80s.
Yeah, when he returns. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual incorporation of that is a real,
part of the story.
Important character from that point onward, moving forward for DC. I of course have read that issue before, but never like the full, like never the first intended full storylines of the Grant Morrison Batman run. So it's like, I don't have that. I think that core, like I don't know, connection to the Grant Morrison Batman run before starting this, and I feel like we did this in the reverse order in that instance, I would say.
Yeah, this might be the first issues of this series, but it does come in the middle of the story.
Oh yeah,
for sure. In terms of the Morrison era, which Morrison is known for kind of a little bit more long form storytelling in terms of characters in his runs. And I agree with all of that. Like, I was looking forward to this. But yeah, it was, I guess, long a little bit, but it was a little confusing about exactly where we were and what was going on. I like knowing sort of having never read Battle for the Cowl, but knowing sort of it. Some of the stuff was like, wait, I feel like they just did this, and it was
like in these first two arcs also, because there's two arcs, right? It's issue 1 through 3, and then issue 4 through 6.
Yeah.
And there's already a change in penciler for the second arc. You get Frank Quitely on issues 1 through 3, which is insane because he's like a A-list top level penciler, but he doesn't have a lot of material out there. So if you get him on interior art on anything, it's like a special occasion, right? Whereas Philip Tan, I'm not knocking Philip Tan, but I don't connect with his penciling as much as I do with Frank Quitely's. And so it was a jarring change halfway through an already short trade paperback, right? And then story-wise, like we were just saying, you're coming in to something kind of established and vastly different than any Batman and Robin story to come prior, right? So it's not like you're picking up on some sort of follow-up legacy to a prior Batman and Robin story. It's Dick Grayson Batman. Bruce Wayne is like MIA, presumed.
Well, technically, they think he's dead at this point.
Yeah, like internally at Wayne Enterprises, they don't know that though. You know what I
mean? They're still pretending he's not, and
So it's a little like, well, he's away and he's supposed to come back, but Dick Grayson has assumed the mantle of Batman. Alfred is there and essentially acts as if Bruce is never coming back. You have Damian Wayne stepping into the role of Robin. Tim Drake at this point is what, Red Robin? Is he on his own?
Yeah, Tim, I think post the story is kind of like, at this point, he may not even be Red Robin yet. He's kind of just cut loose, like with Damian the mantle. So
yeah.
So it's a little.
But he never like shows up in this.
He does not show up.
Yeah. And Grant Morrison also kind of uses his own like C and D list level villains a lot. Like he introduced some of these villains in like one random issue of Batman, like Batman 666, I think. For Professor Pig, for Mr. Toad, what's the guy in issue 6?
The Flamingo.
Yeah. So all these kind of villains are kind of just they're not really of major consequence beyond this.
No.
So that kind of also adds a little bit to the sort of like very self-contained from a specific through line story that's pre New 52 reset of DC, of which I almost forgot like everything you know, like unless I'm literally reading it and you know, rereading it and preparing to talk about it. It's tough to,
I mean, there's a lot of
keep track.
This is a very different genre we're dropping into than the one that we've seen over the last decade plus in comics.
Yeah.
This is, you know, like I said, this is a very different stage, and this is pre-New 52. This is pre-Rebirth. And this is very early days of Damian. This is still crazy Jason Todd in terms of like that he's still like very mentally unstable from coming back from the pit. He's
I did like that the Red Hood was kind of incorporated into sort of the like the battle for the brand of Batman almost in a way, right?
Right.
But we missed reading the actual like mini series that officially dealt with that, right? The battle for the cowl.
And that's what this and we'll get into this as we get into the actual issues, but that's what I felt lost because I felt like this is very much like he's still trying to take the brand. I'm like, didn't this immediately follow up Battle for the Cowl where they decided this?
Like, that's what I thought. But in this, it's like he gets his own Carrie Kelly, Robin kind of Scarlet.
Yeah, we'll talk about Scarlet here in a minute.
And basically Jason Todd's making the case that, you know, that they're a better duo for the future of Gotham to take down all the, you know, the villains and, you know, basically, you know, protect everyone moving forward instead of this Dick Grayson Batman and Damian Wayne combination, obviously who he's got issues with both of them in different ways. So, yeah, I don't know. But without having read that myself, I can't really say to any level of specificity how much of that was truly like determined or not determined or exactly how, you know, like
whether or not this is a true rehash or if it's truly like we're left that this is not a surprising follow-up, which having not read that. So it's kind of a I think that's the biggest weakness for me of this as a standalone book is that it's just really not a standalone. It's clearly something you need. It's fine, but like even the dynamic between Dick and Damian is a little like you can tell that it's not really settled in terms of how they look at each other compared to what I'm used to. So that's in flux. The stuff with Jason Todd and the fact that, you know, he's still like trying to fight for the mantle to a certain degree. And it's villains that we don't really expect. And so it's just a little bit like you come in and it's like, oh, I didn't do the pre-reading.
Yeah, exactly. Like Penguin shows up to host some like meeting of like 5 gangster characters that you've never heard of, right? Like he shows up and he's like he's got a couple pages worth of material, right, in that issue, right? But beyond that, I can't recall like I mean, correct me if I'm wrong though. I can't recall like one of the main rogues that
none of the other main rogues
that either Bruce or Dick has been known to, you know, have any story with, right? So it does feel like, especially this first volume, that it feels pretty isolated. And how does the end of issue 6 wrap up again? Do you remember? Like,
well, we haven't got there, but basically, like. The end is they fight the Flamingo.
Remember that
captured, and the Scarlet person just like takes off on her own but her face like melts off. The fake face that put on her melts off. So I don't know if we've ever heard of that person again. And then like. Dick is okay, or appears to be okay after the fight, but then we see somebody in a Batman costume, and we get the Zur and R.
Oh yeah, okay. So that's the real end. So that's like that's like a tease of Return of Bruce Wayne in some way.
Yeah, which I assume probably the tease,
which
there, but
which admittedly kind of makes me want to read volume 2, but at the same time, I would much rather go back and read the key story arcs of the Batman Grant Morrison run that are necessary and Battle for the Cowl in like one like episode,
So yeah,
thing.
I feel like I need to go back and get, because I know they put out like the omnibuses of like Grant Morrison's run.
Yeah.
Like I just need to go back and get the first one of those, like, and just start.
Yeah.
Like,
and that would be, and then eventually we could get to volume 2 of
and
this.
then you would get to like whatever volume this is.
I have to read volume 1 for the like 4th time or whatever. But yeah.
And like if I wanted to really read the Grant Morrison run, I feel like that's what I got to do. So
yeah, well, I think if anything, that's what this convinced me to do. It's like go back and actually give the Grant Morrison run a legit shot instead of just a few handful of issues that mattered because they were key issues, you know, which is all I ever sort of dove into on my end. So
no, I get that totally. So let's talk about what's here a little bit.
So I read it on a tablet, so I'm gonna have to rely on you to do the.
No, that's fine. So
point at the camera for referencing anything.
So I just, out of curiosity, what do you think of the fighter plane craft Batmobile here we get right off the bat?
Oh yeah, because I mean I did choose it to put this DPS double page. Is this the first? Is this the first 2 pages of the book, or
right off the bat? Okay. It's like
there you go. Yeah. It's like.
Well, I guess it's not the first 2 pages. This is the first page.
Yeah. I think it's cool when they're inside and you have dialogue scenes between Dick and Damian. It's like it's a great setting for that, and I like this sort of, I guess, the flexibility of it to be like an all-purpose. Yeah, there you go. I think I even chose that screen grab to put.
Well, yeah, like the seats look comfy.
There you go.
Like the seats look like you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's cool that it's a very versatile, multi-purpose vehicle. I guess
basically the Batwing, the Batmobile, the Batboat, all in one.
Yeah, like kind of reminds me a little of like the Christopher Nolan like methodology of making something very highly functional and multi-purpose, multi-tooled. Except visually, they went with like a retro, like almost golden age or silver age, some sort of halfway between golden age and silver age inspired design visually,
right?
Which I thought was kind of fun in a way, in like a kitschy kind of way. It wouldn't be like my first choice of like the designs for the Bat vehicles, but it's fun. It's fun. I thought it was fun, I guess. Yeah. What about you? What do you think of it?
No, I thought it was interesting. It was like I hadn't seen this version or didn't remember this version from any of my pre-reading. I think it's, I understand the concept. It's like you said, it's kind of this retro futuristic rocket ship thing.
I like when is that a different vehicle when it turns into like the quad, like the 4x like the one that looks kind of like the Nolan Batman. You know what I'm talking about? I think like on the first page of either issue 3 or 4, or maybe 5, like there's
like a quad runner. That's a different thing.
That shot. I like how it looks there, but is that that's a different vehicle?
Completely different machine. I think.
Yeah, that is a different vehicle. Yeah, okay. Because that really is what reminded me of Nolan.
That really just looks like the Batmobile, like the Bat four-wheeler.
Yeah, it just literally looks taken right out of the Dark Knight or whatever,
Yeah.
And I guess timing-wise, this would have been around the same time, right? 2009 was this, and then Dark Knight came out, what, 2008?
Yeah, this would have been around 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Dark Knight would have been out and established, and that would have been in like the pop culture zeitgeist to some degree.
Yes,
for
sure.
So yeah, although I don't know how long it took Frank Quietly to work on these issues of Grant Morrison and how much lead time there was and how much overlap there was with any of that.
Yeah, no idea. Okay.
What about you as far as the art style? Do you agree with that? What I was saying with like the Frank Quietly stuff is like the standout stuff, and he does the covers. He does the covers for like the first 16 issues. But
the whole, I will say, not a the whole, some of the stuff with this Professor Pig, and it's not really a circus. I don't know what they call it here. The circus or these people with him, like, there's like over the top. Let's make these people kind of grotesque, which is like,
the Dolatrons, the little like Dolatrons that he controls, like the
with the same face with the face melted on, and the lady who's supposed to be the fat lady, and like it's just like some of that that's not my cup of tea necessarily in terms of art, but like overall the Frank Quitely stuff is great, and it's much easier to follow.
It's way easier to follow than the Philip Tan art.
The Philip Tan stuff. Like the Tan and these fight scenes are confusing and
difficult.
Very
difficult. Yeah, I agree with you. I think some of that has to do with the fact that Philip Tan doesn't ink himself. He has an inking partner, Jonathan Glapion, inks him.
Yeah.
And Frank's stuff is usually just straight pencils, or he inks himself, right? So it's like there's usually no separate other element. Certainly in the case of these 3 issues, he's the art you're seeing is pretty much all him, and there's no one else outside Alex Sinclair, the colorist. But with the Philip Tan issues, it's a 3-person team, technically. So it's a little different, and his style, I think his style works really great for big, bold images and covers, but the nitty gritty of panel to panel storytelling, I don't think he quite captures or nails.
Yeah, for like the Quietly lays out, like the way he lays out the fight in this like these panels and stuff. It's dynamic. You can follow it. There's no like jarring. Like, wait, how did they get there from this next panel? And I felt like in the Philip Tan stuff, there's quite a bit of like stuff missing between the panels. Like, in terms of like, oh wait, how did he get behind him when he was just over here? Like, and it's like, how did he get the drop? Like in the fight stuff, it doesn't flow, for me at least, in a cohesive way compared to, like the Quietly stuff earlier in the book. So
I agree with you. I mean, it's pretty much it's a tough act to follow, and with Frank Quietly, and it's also tough to like kind of adjust your own style to match his style, because he uses a lot sparser and looser lines, but his storytelling is very clear. Philip Tan uses way more lines. He's a much busier artist, like organically, right? But he's also at the same time trying to do a little bit of matching to what came before. So I don't think it's necessarily organically his style either, which makes it even worse in some cases. It's like I said, it's not like bad. It's just nowhere near. It's nowhere near the same quality after issue 3. Like it's a different thing.
All right. So what do we think of? So we talked about it. We get this Mr. Toad. We get Professor Pig in this first story arc. What do we think of the 2 villains that are kind of the first 3? This first 3 issues are built around. What do we think of Professor Pig as a villain?
He's okay. Like,
I feel like that's
it's fine.
He's an evil guy. Okay, he's like
Well, I think I mean, like the basic premise is that he uses these kind of like skin masks or whatever to control his victims. But it's an actual person. Like it's like he's wearing a pig mask.
Yeah, it's just a dude with a pig mask.
Contraption. It's not like the character has any basis in pig biology. Whatsoever. It's an okay character. I think Mr. Toad is just like a throwaway character that dies right away. Right? I wouldn't even call him a villain.
Later, in the book. Well, and you can even there's like a big strap around the back of his head. He's just wearing a mask.
Right. And there's the guy that lights on fire that like combusts spontaneously or whatever, and he's trying to get into Gotham Police Department, and then Dick Grayson.
And the guy that like catches on fire, and then there's this like graffiti, and then there's like the Tweedle. I don't think they're Tweedledee or Tweedledum, but they like two or three guys that are like twins or something, and
I think the almost the whole point of the entire first issue is get to the place where was it Sasha is her name that ends up becoming Scarlet.
They do share a name. Where is it at? I
forget her name. For some reason, I'm remembering Sasha, or I don't know. Forget what her.
She's standing here and he's like, your daughter will help her. In fact, when I'm done with both of you, you'll be perfect together, or whatever. Because he's like experimenting on people. Yeah. Where does he say?
But I mean, that was the but that was kind of the. That was the main arc of that first issue, is to get to a place where you feel a little concerned for that character, and you're not entirely sure if she's going to make it out of that or not. And then the whole second issue is told almost in like reverse order, right? Like all the action has happened. Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne have kind of gone in separate directions, or they had a disagreement of some kind. But I don't remember exactly what it was right now. But
it starts with them chasing Professor Toad, and you see that like Professor Pig or Mr. Toad, and then you see Professor Pig has basically found Shasha's dad, and like he's using her to like, or he's captured him, and he's gonna like experiment.
I'm second guessing whether the girl's name is Sasha.
So the end is her. Like then we see the fighting station, and then they follow back, and but by the time they get there, she's already like got the mask on her face. And I mean, we do see kind of a Damian thing where he like makes a choice of staying to help her or go after the bad guy, and he goes after the bad guy, and which is kind of leads to where she goes.
Right. That's kind of his character arc in this is, I should have helped her. I let her down, so now I need to help her, right? Like, and that's kind of like where the rest of this volume kind of takes you. And then even then by the end, like he's paralyzed because he went to help her, or no, because now he's going up against
now he's having to fight
the Red Hood and her as Scarlet, right?
So all the stuff with, like, I've read a couple of things with Professor Pig, and he's always like experimenting or cutting on people. And
I've read. I think I read one other thing recently with him in it, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Maybe it was Arkham City, by Dan Waters and Danny Strips. Arkham City Order of the World, I think it's called. It's like I think it was like a 5-issue mini-year standalone graphic.
I haven't read that one. So
it had a bunch of like Arkham reject type villains, like your B and C tier villain stuff. In Gotham.
So but basically, like you said, the really what drives the second half of this is he makes the choice, the bad guys, to help this little girl, and he's dealing with that the rest of the thing. And then she like basically goes and kills the other of Professor Pig's minions, including her father, and gets by Red Hood. And he decides to recruit her to be his Robin. He calls her Scarlet. And, and this is, so what was this stage of Jason Todd? It's Red Hood. I mean, this is the stage where they got him with the red hair. They got him.
Well, he's got more of like a full-fledged like logo suit thing.
Yeah, right? Logo, but he's got the tall red helmet instead of like the helmet like the biker helmet. It's like just the glass dome thing going on.
Yeah, it went away from the Judd Winnick, Doug Mankey under the red hood type stuff.
Yeah, this.
And it leaned more into like the golden age detective comics. It's like a hybrid between those two things, kind of.
Yeah.
Not golden age. Was that silver age? That
I thought it was golden.
the red hood where he like falls into the vat and all that crap.
Yeah. So it's So what do you think of Jason at this point?
I'm fine with it. I kind of like the that whole portion where they have Dick and Damian like all unmasked and tied up, and he has like a real-time vote poll going on, like
yeah.
right? Is that the same scene I'm thinking of? Or
yeah, like they're tied up from a camera, and it's like, or like the camera will turn on and you'll see them if depending on the votes or whatever. Yeah.
Right, but what was the vote for? Was it between Dick Grayson as Batman and Red Hood on who should be like the Gotham's protector, or it should be
no, it was like who they are.
Oh, on just who they are, or
yeah, it's like, do you want their identities or not?
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was like a play on the whole. I mean, I guess it still is a play on the whole, like, the fact that he was killed from a fan voting campaign.
Yeah, it's definitely a play on the voting, but it was basically just to reveal their identities or not.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I thought there were some fun moments for his character, like the overall character arc of Jason Todd from the beginning up until this point in this. Right. That said, it's hard for me to say I'm a fan of this Red Hood or not without reading past this. I guess because not enough.
I felt I'll be honest. I felt a little bit frustrated with the way this is written. Whenever Dick and Damian kind of confront Red Hood and Scarlet, because they basically like, well, we don't want to hurt them, and then they lose because they're being like dumb.
Yeah,
they keep allowing, like, multiple times here they get in fights with each other, and multiple times Red Hood and Scarlet win because Dick and Damian both like try to hold back because they don't actually want to hurt them, because it's like, dude.
Yeah, and they waste a lot of time bickering with each other about
that. And they spend a lot of time like debating instead of just like taking care of business. It's just like, okay. Like, I didn't.
You notice, and I don't know if this is specific, like so specific to this or just Grant Morrison as a whole, but one thing I did notice was a lot of panels where the current character speaking the dialogue, like in the lettering, right? Let's say their face is not visually depicted in that panel. Like I like every other page, there's like a sequence where the speaking character is not their face isn't visible in that panel. So that I think that adds to the sort of confusing nature, especially of the Philip Tan side of this volume. I just noticed that a lot, and maybe that's something that Grant Morrison likes. Like he specifies that, like, like panel 3, like this character is still off screen, so only draw them from like the chest downwards, but have the word bubble, be from the character. We just have to make sure we remember who that character is, right?
You can see their body.
Yeah. That added a lot to the sort of, wait, where am I again in this, and who's talking right now? I got to go back a page again or two.
So, what do you think of Scarlet here? Is the arc we get for this little girl? She's like, her dad's a criminal. He gets caught. He's trying to run away. Professor Pig catches him, tortures him, and her. Just melts this mask thing onto her face, or grafts it onto her face, and then Damon says he's going to save her, but he kind of ends up leaving her. She ends up killing her own dad. She gets recruited by the Red Hood. And then suddenly, like, she's got fighting skills. She's, like, not, like, just getting absolutely destroyed by Damian, although he's also back. But still, like,
doesn't she, like, disappear by the end, though? Like runs away? And then in the end,
like, Red Hood gets caught, and she just, like, goes riding off on her own, and the mask falls off. Like, what do you?
Yeah.
I realize there might be more for this character, but what did you think of this arc for Scarlet?
I mean, if they don't return in the next volume, and if this version of Jason Todd's Red Hood doesn't return in the next volume, then I will not be a fan of either character's inclusion here, because it was just too quick and over with for me. It didn't start until issue 3 out of 6, right? Or no, 4 out of 6. It didn't start until issue 4 out of 6.
Well, I mean, her story started from the beginning, but like,
I mean, more him. I mean, his story did, yeah. I'm like expecting him to show up again. If
I would hope so,
yeah. But if not, that would be weird to me.
I feel
her. I feel like okay from the beginning. From where the character is introduced in issue 1, and where the character is sort of just written out off screen in a way, like you see her like narrating over her escape or her exit, her leaving Gotham or whatever it is. It's a little bit vague and open-ended, but the imagery on those pages would suggest that she just left, right? So I don't know. I don't know if I really expect to see her return or not, or what, if any other DC writer has done with that character since. I can't recall reading stuff.
I don't know that I've ever heard of her before, and I could totally see how he could be writing this with the plans to like bring her back, and like down the road, because I could see this where she doesn't show up in the next volume, or maybe even 2, and then comes back later in his story.
Well, how many issues total was Batman and Robin?
I think it only lasts 12 before we went to the New 52, and that's my point. Is like I think
12. That's it. I thought it was more.
I think this only lasts. I could be wrong. It may have went longer. Like somebody could correct me. I mean, I could look it up. I guess.
I know that there is a volume 2, so
there is a volume 2. But
so you're saying by the time they got to like issue 14, 15, 16, 17, those were in New 52 and a different.
I think we went to. I think everything got reset by the New 52 at some point. So let me see.
Okay, because I know Quietly did like 16 covers for this series.
Okay, it's a little more than I thought, but because the series ends when they go to the New 52, and then they relaunch the new Batman and Robin. That's Bruce and Damian.
That's the Tomasi one, right?
What
was that Batman and Robin? Is that the Tomasi Gleason one, or is that a different one?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. I hear really good things about that one. I have not read that one, if I recall.
So this is 2009. It says 2009 to 2011. Oh, it was longer than I thought.
Yeah.
So it's like 26 issues. I didn't think it was that long. Okay.
Grant Morrison wrote last longer than that. So Grant Morrison wrote it to the end, or?
I haven't looked at. I just saw how many issues it was. Let's see.
Okay. I assume he did, right? I mean, it would be weird if he didn't, but. I know there are various artists on like Hop Duty.
Oh yeah, there's tons of different artists. It does not list him under. It says Mike Miller by the time you get to issue 25.
Okay, so maybe volume 3 is last.
Winnick.
Okay.
Yeah, Judd Winnick was on the script by issue 25. Sorry.
Okay.
Let's see here. We go. I'm just going to go back a little bit. Peter Tomasi was on the book by 20. So maybe it's just that Morrison was only on the book for so long. Maybe that's.
I think he probably just did 3 volumes and that's it. Yeah.
So sense. Morrison was still on the book on 13. I'm just kind of. He's still on at 16.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume he went all the way to 18, but I'll let you confirm that.
Nope, 17 doesn't have him.
Oh wow, okay. So it's literally the 16 issues Frank quietly did covers for.
Yeah,
that's the fact I had in my head. And
through 16.
Okay. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm just having a hard time like talking about this book because I feel like I read chapter 18 of a novel, and I don't have.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were kind of
17 or 19 through 50 or whatever.
We were kind of like right before we went live, we were basically saying like, you know, this is like the middle part of some big omnibus that collects all of the Grant Morrison stuff in like 2 omnibus volumes.
Yeah,
you know, it's like towards the end of the first omnibus or the beginning of the second omnibus, maybe, you know, I don't even know. But we missed that whole first omnibus as far as like full comprehension. I know some basic things that happened in those.
Yeah, I mean, I know kind of the basic outline just because it's Batman, like nothing to know. But yeah. And I know he continued some stuff after once we got into some of it continued into the New 52 era, but a lot of the Batman Incorporated stuff that came out of that, and but yeah, it's just I just feel like I'm like, oh, like I said, I picked up like 18 through 20 of 60 chapter book. And I read those chapters.
And in a kind of funny, ironic way, the biggest theme for me in this book was the whole, like, the brand that is Batman.
Yeah,
that it's bigger than a single person, a single version of it, and that it's like it's a symbol and all that. And yeah, I mean, the genesis of this whole portion of Batman storytelling is someone else, key to the stories we've read up all prior to that point, takes on the mantle, and it's a different setup. So it's interesting.
That's really where Morrison goes, because he does all the Batman Incorporated stuff after this.
Yeah.
When Bruce comes back, and there's all the different people taking the mantle in different parts, all of that about Batman being more than just Bruce. So yeah, he's clearly like working on something here, and you can clearly see that in these pages.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was, like I said, it was just I'd heard really good things about this run, but reading this on its own without the full background made it less than satisfying for what it might have been.
I think it's twofold. It doesn't make sense to sandwich this outside of timeline reading order within the context of Grant Morrison's Batman run.
Yeah.
And then B, the unending positivity I have heard about it from other, like Batman and Robin specifically, by Morrison and Quitely specifically. I didn't even realize until I read this volume 1 that Quitely only did 3 issues, and I know he did a lot of covers, but I thought he did a much more. I mean, maybe he comes back as the interior artist.
That's a good question.
In one of the other volumes, but I was stoked to read like page after page after page of Frank Quitely art.
Yeah, issue 7 is Cameron Stewart pencils and inks with Quitely cover. I just got it open on comic book.
Yeah, I think it's just those first 3 issues. Then
Cameron Stewart. Once you get to like 11, you got Andy Clark on pencils.
Okay.
By the time you get like the 14, it looks like it just keeps rotating pencilers. Fraser Irving, he's just doing covers after that. So
yeah, it's just it's strange, because between people that read Batman and comic book DC stuff in general, and then art collectors and people that are super into Frank Quitely art, like everybody speaks so highly of this series. Like the Grant Morrison fans, the Batman and Robin DC people, the comic, the more art centric people who are into Frank Quitely. Like I've heard like just unending positivity prior to experiencing it myself, and maybe that it's hard to live up to those expectations.
Maybe because, like I said, I picked it up because I'd heard such good things, and I was like, okay, I want to like read that, and if the first volume's good, I'll get the rest. And but this is not what I thought I was walking into.
Same, and I don't mean that as an insult to it at all. It's just it's the expectation and hype level versus what it actually is and where it belongs in the order of things. It's like it was off a little bit for me.
Okay,
but I'm sure it'll improve by going back and reading those.
Yeah, I'm sure it would improve by reading the lead up to this, and then probably reading the rest of the Morrison on this, the other 10 issues. But it is, it's as a standalone. It's
to me like
jump into Grant Morrison Batman.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense for us to like be like, oh, let's go ahead and read volume 2 and do a whole episode about it. Let's go ahead and read volume 3 and do a whole episode about it. It would only really make sense to go back, read the entire Grant Morrison Batman run, including Battle for the Cowl. maybe even read the end of Final Crisis for all I know, because Grant wrote that too, and it's kind of that whole time period of him rolling right into his Batman run after Final Crisis, and then into this right after his Batman run. So that all kind of belongs in one shot, and that's probably 500-600 pages, 700 pages or something. So it would take a while. Yeah,
actually, there's 3 omnibuses. I think
3 omnibus. Yeah,
I think
so more than 700 pages. Probably what? Like 1,500 pages?
Oh, at least probably.
Yeah.
All right, Grant Morrison Omnibus 1, Volume 2, and then I thought I saw Volume 3 also.
Maybe Batman and Robin is its own omnibus?
There's 3 of them, at least. Yeah, there's Volume 3. So yeah, there's 3 Grant Morrison omnibuses.
And is Batman and Robin incorporated into any of those or no?
Let's see what's in each of them yet. Let's see what's in Volume 1 here. Well, I clicked on Volume 1. Why did I get Volume 2? Interesting.
I don't know.
Because Volume 1 is out of print. Is that why it's not coming up?
That's very, very well could be possible.
Here we go. There it is. There it is. Hang on. So Volume 1 collects 655 through 658, and then 663 through 683 of Batman. DC Universe 0, 30 and 47. So yeah, this is not in Volume 1 of his omnibus.
I think Batman and Robin has its own omnibus, actually, that collects the whole run, if I'm not mistaken.
Volume 2 collects Batman and Robin 1 through 16.
Oh, okay. So it's in there.
Through 702. The Return of Bruce Wayne. So it does not have Battle for the Cowl, but I don't think he wrote Battle for the Cowl. I think Dano wrote Battle for the Cowl, or somebody else.
Really? Okay.
But I know that it's in there, but he wrote all the lead up to it, but he didn't actually write the Battle for the Cowl stuff. So this is in Omnibus Volume 2, this whole run is. And basically everything up to, I think, the end of the pre-New 52. And then I think Volume 3 is all New 52 stuff.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
I didn't realize Grant Morrison didn't write Battle for the Cowl. So that's Tony Daniel did that?
I think
it is, yeah.
Or maybe he was art on it. I don't know if he wrote it.
He did both. He wrote and drew it. So
yeah, and then everything else is Volume 3 is all the Batman Incorporated stuff, which I think all actually technically came after the New 52.
Correct, I believe so. Yeah.
So yeah, interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I'd be down to start with the first batch of Grant Morrison. Yeah,
we'll have to see it.
Batman proper title. What's that? Batman R.I.P. and what's this? What's this?
Well, it's all the pre stuff because it's got the Damien Comes Back stuff, right. And then it's got the R.I.P. stuff, and there's several issues. It's quite a few issues before.
It's okay. So it's Son of the Bat. Then it's Batman R.I.P. I think it's like this. The trade paperback names, right? If you can't get the omnibus. Yeah, okay.
Actually, it's showing on Amazon. We can maybe get the omnibus still. So
is it like used copies and stuff, or
it may be like used copies and stuff?
Yeah.
So, but
if it's out of print, it's
like 25, 26 issues, most of which are Batman issues.
What's it going for?
Yeah, 655 through 658, and then 663 through 683. So,
okay. Well,
so we'll have to look into it.
Yeah, we can sidebar about it. I don't know if that's the next thing I want to read right away.
That's the next thing I want to do.
Yeah, I'd rather I want to pick some other creative,
Yes,
I'd agree with our next thing. But I'd be happy to circle back to it at some point for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, any final thoughts on this one? You got a final ranking for what you think? Can you even rank?
I can't rank this. It's not really a rankable story. In the
yeah, I feel like if I ranked it, it's going to be way low. If I rank it, because it just doesn't work on its own. Like
it doesn't really work as a standalone complete story. At least after volume 1. I mean, I don't.
15 issues do a little better. But like,
yeah, maybe. I mean, because he did build in like little pockets of things that allude to the material that came before. But if you if you don't have fresh reading experience of that, or or encyclopedic level knowledge of it, then it's tough to sort of fully grasp for sure. So it's hard to put in a rank. I could see it within the context of the entire Grant Morrison run being a rankable thing eventually, when all said and done. But who knows how good or bad that all is. So,
yeah. No, I think I agree with that completely.
But if anything, I would say that the Frank Quitely covers for issues 1 through 16 are some of the coolest, Batman and Robin centric covers. The one that kind of has homages Detective 31 and Batman that Neil Adams cover that homages Detective 31. You know what I'm talking about? I think it's issue 4 maybe, or issue 3. I forget which.
I don't remember which issue it is.
The one with that like big Batman image in the background and the city of Gotham, and I'll try to find it. Hold on.
I mean, I think this is 4.
Okay, it must be 3 then.
The cover is that in the book. That might be this is class page.
This one. Oops.
That's not going to show it.
Yeah, tablet.
This
one with the cowl. The one with the big cowl. See this?
Oh,
yeah, it's basically a Detective Comics 31 homage. You know, that great Golden Age cover?
Yeah. Which issue is that?
That is issue 2.
Oh, it's issue 2. Okay.
Yeah, it's issue 2. I don't know why I didn't pull that image for like the background images behind me. I just
issue 2.
Yeah. I love that cover. I basically love all the covers that Quitely did for the book, and I've come across them a bazillion times over the years, and long boxes and all that. But yeah, I mean, those for the art quality and the interior art, for those first 3 issues, I think is on some like special level. I just wish the story matched it. Yeah. That's
where
like
I'm at.
That's my simple 1-sentence version of what I thought. Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't think we can beat this dead horse anymore.
Exactly.
I think it's dead.
It is dead.
Shout out to my members as a thank you for the channel members. Appreciate those folks for helping me keep this channel going. Cheers to all of you from me and from Tony. And with that, we're going to get out of here. We will see you later.
See you.